our personality very much is the lens through which we look at the world and that we receive information. And I am confident that I could ask each and every person in this class, if we were face to face, do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert? I am an extrovert. I always have been. I was extroverted as a child. I'm extroverted now. I'll step out there and risk it all, if you will, while others are much more reticent, more quiet, more passive, if you will. And so I think it's quite interesting to look at how does our personality impact or influence, if you will, the way that we perceive spiritual things, the way that we pray, the way that we understand Christ, the way that we imitate Christ. Much of that is influenced by our personality. Now, yes, I do have a vested interest in this. I wrote my dissertation in this area, so I think it's important. I wrote a dissertation on it's really the connection between our self-image, how a child sees themselves, and their images of Jesus, which I'm not going to go into that whole thing with you, but just to say that, I've studied it for a long time. And what I found basically in my dissertation research is that children are still in process, much more than adults and adolescents are. We tend to sort of wrap Jesus around who we are. In other words, like I'm real extroverted, so Jesus must be extroverted. Jesus liked to be around people. But somebody else who's much more reserved and passive would say, yeah, but Jesus liked to be alone and meditate and pray. And somebody else would say, but Jesus was a rule breaker. He really stepped out there. And then others would say, no, but Jesus really did also follow the rules. And yet he did all those things now, didn't he? The reason I think it's important that we look at this when we are talking about children is, I could go into a class with kids and I could say, okay, children, I need you to be like Jesus. We want to be like Jesus. Well, then the real million-dollar question then is, well, what was Jesus like? So if I say to this child over here, I need you to sit and listen to me and be like Jesus, like be obedient. But he could respond to me and say, but I was being like Jesus. He had a problem. I was trying to help him. So how does our personality influence the way we are spiritually? It does have an impact on the way we pray. It has an influence on the way we respond to other people. And it's not just as adults, but it's as children as well. So this week, we're going to explore our personality and how our personality influences us, as adults. But let's remember that we are equipping parents and we are equipping children. And I think it's very important that parents understand their children. I've done hundreds of parenting conferences on temperament, personality of children and parents, and how that plays into the spiritual formation of their children, how they connect with their children spiritually and in other ways through the lens of personality. I had a dad come up to me one time after one of those sessions. It was like this light bulb had gone off over his head. He goes, I get it now. That's why he's the way he is. And I said, absolutely, absolutely. And when we know and understand our children in all the ways that God has made them, we are better able to respond to their needs, all of their needs. And so I hope that this it'll be a little different kind of study for you, but I hope that for you, this is enlightening and encouraging as well. Enjoy.